Hello, and welcome to the continuation of our Bible study in the book of Revelation. We're looking at Revelation 12 today. And Joe, when we look at this one, it's going to be really interesting because though again there's lots of imagery and challenging bits to unpack and understand, I think it also gives a little insight in Revelation into Satan and the position of Satan in the world and the power that he has or doesn't have over us as believers and the power that he has over unbelievers. Now, I'm going to unpack this a little bit. We'll see how we get on. I might split it over two, or I might even just continue and do one slightly longer one today. We'll see. So anyway, this passage in Revelation 12 speaks of really what's gone on in the heavenly realm and on the earthly realm, and how Satan can have an impact. Now, let's just pick out a couple of these so that we get an idea. It talks first about this sign that appeared in the heavens. It says enormous red dragon, 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns. Speaks of authority, speaks of position and power. It says its tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. Now you got this image of the dragon, and as I'll show in a moment, the dragon is referred to as Satan, and his actions taking with him, this uses the illustration of the stars, but really it's speaking of the angelic realm, that there's this shift that goes on in the heavenly realms where Satan and many of the minions under him, the demonic forces, go with him. Now the picture just flips a little bit later on. It talks about a war in heaven. It says Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. So you've got this split in heaven that's going on. It says the dragon and his angels were fought back, but he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. And it says the great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, who leads the world astray. He was hurled to the earth and his angels with him. Now, I want us to get hold of this, because if we truly get hold of this next bit, it adjusts how we approach things. It adjusts how we think about things. Now, one of the sentences and statements that we've all used ourselves, and we maybe still use it, is things like Satan's having a go at me. I'm being really attacked by Satan. But if we get hold of this next bit, it'll shift our understanding on that and change our understanding of the authority that we have to deal with things and to change things. Now, if you want to pick up some of the things I'm going to say, you can look at the early part of Hebrews, where it covers some of these things in a little bit of detail. And that would be Hebrews 1, where it's talking about the Son and talking how much more superior the Son had become to the angels, and the whole positioning that went on in heaven. And here's the thing. So just I wanted to imagine this and imagine it in a bit of a structured way. So in heaven you've got the Father, you've got the Son, you've got the Holy Spirit, and then you've got angels and all the angelic realm. Now we look at that and we're quite clear that the angels aren't God, the angels aren't Jesus, the angels aren't the Holy Spirit, but they have a role, that there's a spiritual realm in the heavenlies, and they ministered to the Father. And then when you get the creation of the world, and in that process of creating the world, you have the creation of Adam and Eve. Now, look at this. So you've got Father, Son, Holy Spirit. You've got the angels that are there ministering. And then on earth, created by the breath of God and given life by the breath of God, you've got mankind. And if you look at that early time in the book of Genesis, you realise there aren't the boundary lines between the heavenly realm and the earthly realm. It says that Adam and Eve walked with the Father in the cool of the day. Wow. Yeah, there's an ease, there's a crossover, and Adam and Eve had the ability to access and to see the heavenly realm. Now, here's an important little statement that comes out. Adam and Eve are given the job of guarding, the earth. They're given the job of looking after, tending the earth, and there's this word used that has the implication that they have to guard it in their care of the earth. And so what are they guarding against? They're guarding it against Satan. Now we know the story, so I'll put this together first. Because the story is that Satan comes to tempt them. We know that. And Adam and Eve submit to that temptation. So let's have a look at what's going on in the heavenly realm. Then we come back to this passage here. And we see in this passage, as we said earlier in Revelation, that Satan has been thrown to the earth. So he, in that moment, is thrown out of heaven, and his authority in heaven and in the heavenly realms is broken. So he's bottom of the pile. And the only area that he has an ability to rule and reign in any way is on earth. But here's the thing, mankind are commissioned to care for the earth and to rule on the earth. And it included ruling under the animals. And if you remember Satan, when he first makes his appearance, he makes his appearance as an animal, as a serpent. So Adam and Eve are given that authority to rule. So now have a look at the authority structure, in loose form on earth, in heaven. So you've got Father, Son, Holy Spirit. You've got the angels ministry. You've got on earth mankind who's relating in to the heavenly realm. And he has rule over the animals, which includes Satan. Satan's bottom of the pile. So when Satan comes to Eve, what should happen? Think about this. Adam and Eve are given that position to rule and reign. But as we saw in that passage, let's get it back up here in Revelation 12, it says, the dragon, the ancient serpent called the devil, Satan, this is in verse 9, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth and his angels with him. So he's on earth aiming to tempt, to draw Adam and Eve into sin. But he's been placed under them. Now I want you to just stop there and think about the authority structure, the ruling structure given at creation. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Adam on earth, ruling on earth. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, angels on earth, Adam and Eve, Satan. So now we come to the next bit. We know that Satan's on earth. What happens when he tempts Adam and Eve? And basically Adam and Eve, when they don't use their authority, they give up their authority. And when they give up their authority, there's a shift that goes on earth. And it's that moment as Adam and Eve come under, they sin, they disobey God. But they've given a rule to Satan and to his demons. And that's the mess that the world was in. That the world is now in a place where destruction is ongoing. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pause, restart a part 2, but if you want to follow them both in one go, I'm going to put them both out on Tuesday morning, so you can go from one to the other. Okay, bless you. Stick with that thought, and we'll come back in on it for the the next 10 minutes on Revelation 12.